Stay on the gas as IndyCar returns with a date in St. Petersburg. And oh yeah, the NASCAR Truck Series will make an appearance for the first time as well. We get you set from a gambling perspective next on the Backroad.
I don't drive a Monte Carlo, and my truck ain't painted black. It ain't got a big white number 3 turning left around the track.
Let's go!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into our bonus Backroad of the week. Thanks for tuning into our little bonus shows here. We've been enjoying doing them and hope you're enjoying watching them too. This week, the talk is all about St. Petersburg. My name's Elliot Hicks. With me is Seth Woolcock. We're going to break down not just the IndyCar season opener at St. Pete, but also the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. First time they're ever on a street course. Going to be a pair of really, really fun races down in Florida, Seth.
Oh, Elliot, I am absolutely psyched up for this weekend, man. I would attest, and I've put this out on the internet before and haven't been kindly received on this take, but I would argue with IndyCar back, NASCAR at the first road course of the season, the Truck Series taking on St. Pete, and the NFL Combine going on. Like, this is arguably one of the best betting weekends of the entire calendar. So excited to break it down specifically what's going to be going on down there in the great state of Florida this weekend with you.
Yeah, man, lots of great little odds out there. Good little sneaky betting weekend. I agree with you. But yeah, before we get into it, shout out for taking a look at our new channel here on the Backroad. Best way to get just your racing content. Not that we don't have lots of other great content in the IBT racing family as well. Going to be conversation all weekend long about these races, just as they are all season also. Free to enter to join the conversation and enter the memorabilia giveaways, paid access for the exclusive weekly betting model, our full betting cards from myself, yourself, Seth, and our new contributor, Chris Colicchio, and entry into the head-to-head matchups contest, which I am still in first place. Not to brag, though. We talked about that more on the main show that aired. But yeah, excited to stay in first place there and excited about everything else going on. That entry fee gets you into the football family with lots of great stuff going on. Like you said, the Combine, great little odds out there. Entertainment family, Survivor 50 getting started up.
Yes.
Big contest over there for that. And the golf family as well. The warmer it gets, the more exciting the golf is, Seth. That's for sure.
Oh, 100%, man. It's been a time in the tour. We also have some tour bets we're sweating out for this weekend as well. So a lot of units up for grab, to say the least, Elliot, and all recorded and chatted about over there in the IBT family. More than tripled the amount of members in there over just like the last month or two. So really appreciate all the new members. And if you are new and you're kind of just hanging around and doing a little creeping, that's fine too. We don't mind, but certainly want you to engage in the conversation, engage in the different tournaments and leagues we have going on as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A lot of fun over there, and it'll continue to be all throughout 2026. And this weekend, like we were talking about, fun couple of races. Let's get right to starting to break down everything about the St. Pete weekend in the Horizon Forecast. All right, so the main things you need to know about the weekend schedule. There's all sorts of practices on the Indy side. You got Indy next going on. But the main stuff you're going to want to look out for, Friday, 4 p.m., truck practice and qualifying over on FS2. You got the truck race going green on Saturday, 12:22 p.m. on Fox. IndyCar qualifying 4:30 on Saturday on FS2. And then the Indy race, 12:29 green flag, the big show on Fox on Sunday. Big racing day on Fox, IndyCar race, and then the Cup race right after that. Going to be a lot of fun. On the truck side, 36 entries, so everyone's going to make it. And that's good because we got some fun entries this week. Dario Franchitti back to auto racing in the number 1. Jimmy Johnson going to be his crew chief, which is going to be a lot of fun too. That's been the word tonight, is fun. Adam Andretti back in the 5 after a decent run at Atlanta last week. Connor Mosack, a road course specialist in the Spire 7. James Hinchcliffe in the other Spire car, the 77. And Colin Brown, former truck driver from about 15, 16 years ago, has done other sports car stuff, other racing stuff, coming back in, bringing the excitement back, Seth, to that number 25 Ram truck program.
Hey, man, it's been cool to see Ram out there. They've been slicing and dicing and getting involved the last few weekends here. So very, very interesting to see what this program can do over the next, 24, 23 races or so, Elliot. You kind of start, zooming out a little bit on this schedule. And it's like, wow, we're already two out of 25 races in, and you got some big names towards the bottom of the standings, too, that are going to have to kind of shake and bake their way up here as we get back to more traditional racing.
Yeah, and the road course is certainly not the traditional race truck series. Only a couple of those a year. There's plenty this year, though, which will make things a lot of fun. The most fun this weekend, though, I think is going to be had by that number 1 team, Dario Franchitti, making his first foray back into NASCAR in almost 20 years. And Jimmy Johnson, I mean, we have the clip in our intro, saw his buddy Dale Jr. having so much fun crew chiefing an O'Reilly car last year. He had to hop into. That's going to be exciting to see how that team operates on the St. Pete course.
Yeah, anytime you get Jimmy Jam, whether it's behind the wheel or up on top of the pit box, it's always going to be a good time. And I mean, these are the type of spot starts we want in this sport, right? The ones that are going to draw different type of eyes, right? Because I mean, I think that's why we're here in St. Pete, right? I think that's why this is the venue, this is the choice, and this is the move, right? Because we don't see this every single day. I know there's going to be some OG fans who, this might not appeal to, but I think if you're down there in Florida for this race, I think if you're an IndyCar viewer and someone who enjoys this track in particular, that this is the race for you. And, at least time and an opportunity to give yourself some exposure to the truck race. Like if you came over here to this particular video and you were only looking for the IndyCar bets, apologies on that. We kind of mixed them together a little bit, executive decision. But this is your chance to test out the truck series, see what it has to offer, because it really is a different form of racing than your traditional NASCAR Cup Series, specifically at road courses here, where I don't know, Elliot, how much you've ever, tried driving a truck in 2-wheel drive in some bad conditions when your back end's a little loose. But if you don't have 4WD turned on there, you can be scooting around these corners a little bit. And it's the same here in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Yeah, man, I don't doubt it. I don't have a lot of experience driving a truck. A couple years ago on the way back home from a Richmond race with a former colleague of the show.
Yeah.
It took a late night shift there, and not something I'm used to, but I know you got the nice ride. And these truckers obviously going to enjoy it as well. Certainly have never driven an open wheel car, Indy cars that are going to be out there. If you want kind of like the full season breakdown, what's new across all the teams, everything like that, Seth, you and Rod over the winter did a really great video breaking down some of the season long stuff. Some of the main storylines, though, a couple new drivers breaking into the series. That includes former Formula One driver Mick Schumacher, of course, legendary family over there, making the move over to America. His rookie season with Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan Racing, a team that is maybe not at the top echelon of IndyCar, but they've done well enough to win Indy 500s. I know David Letterman loves him some racing, and getting a guy with that F1 pedigree. It's always exciting to see those guys come over. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be real fun to see Colton Herta make the reverse move going from IndyCar over into F2 and then hopefully into F1 soon. But Mick Schumacher, any expectations for the rookie year, or you think just him kind of learning the ovals, hopefully having some good runs on the road courses? I don't know how high the expectations are for you with Mick Schumacher this year.
Honestly, not super high. Like, again, this is a move I like. I like seeing these, open wheel, some people might say open wheel car from F1, F2 over to IndyCar is, really like riding a bike. You can pick it up pretty quickly, but it is a different sport, right? It is a very different sport, much more contact, much more tire wear strategy involved in these types of races. And of course we have ovals as well. So no, not super high on this entire rookie class. Open wheeled for whatever reason, Elliot, does feel like there is a little bit of a learning adjustment when you're kind of rising up through the ranks here. So this entire rookie class, like, I'm not too high on any of them, although there are some other moves in the series that I think could, tickle my feather and tickle that fancy a little bit more.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And hey, we've seen rookies come in pretty strong before. Last year, the Indy 500, Robert Schwartzman for Prima goes out there, wins the pole for the Indy 500.
Hey, so, we are on the Schwartz guy for I think a 90-1. We had a ticket on our guy Schwartz, so that felt pretty good. Unfortunately, I was south below the border by the time by the time he had got that pole already. So I had no opportunity to cash out, or that would have been a quick, hey, let's go ahead and make a little profit here. But we did hit in that race on the outright either way. But it was fun to have a 90 some to 1 ticket rolling into that race.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm sure he'll enjoy the prestige of the Indy 500 just as everybody does. In terms of silly season moves, or at least we call it silly season over on the NASCAR side, the one talked about the most, Will Power let go from Penske that did not renew his contract. He moves over to that Andretti seat that was vacated by Colton Herta, while David Malukas makes the move over to that Penske car. Malukas, a guy who had the deal with McLaren, broke his wrist or had some sort of arm injury, gets let go from that deal, hangs around in IndyCar, and now is with one of its premier teams. Will Power, the Australian, of course, you can say his best days are behind him. He's certainly up there in age, but still some talent behind the wheel. And Malukas, obviously, a top prospect that is going to really get a chance to stretch his legs in some top equipment for a full year.
Yeah, I think this is a solid move all the way around here. I'm going to talk about a Penske driver later, and I think you are too. Like, it was kind of just a down year for Penske last season. I don't know why Will Power was kind of one of those scapegoats who went down with the ship a little bit. But getting in an Andretti car, like, that's fine. That's it's not a lateral move, but it's a move that's not going to tank your career. So I'm fine with that. And now we got another young buck here at Penske, and let's see what he can do. Specifically going to be interesting, especially when we get to the ovals. That seems where you're really going to want to back Penske this season. They really tended to kind of fall off, specifically on the street courses, and some on those road courses as well as the season progressed last year. But hey, Tim Cindric's back in that building as well, so maybe that continues to help elevate the entire team. I think there's a big void once he left a season ago.
Yeah, as long as Penske doesn't hear anything about the word attenuator in the news, I think they'll have a better year 6, 10, and 25. But of course, the big story to follow all season long going to be related to that drivers' championship and winning races.
Yeah.
Can anyone stop Alex Palou? Because he has sure shown to be really tough to stop the last couple of years. Dominant season last year, wins a boatload of races, takes the Indy 500, walks away with the championship handily. I know there's a lot of guys hungry for it. Are any of them going to be able to get him?
It's so tough because we're now starting to feel this a little bit in the NASCAR Cup Series and all series, really, with the point changes. But there's no chase, right? And when you go out and you put up a win in IndyCar, that's going to get you 50 points. If you started on the pole too, that's going to get you an extra point. Leading at least one lap, that's going to get you 1 point. I wish NASCAR would bring that back. I always thought that was one of the coolest point rolls we had out there. Most laps led, you're getting 2 points. So like, there's a chance you're walking away if you're Palou here at any given weekend and you're banking 54 points. Like, that is so hard to come back. There's some other drivers, the Kyle Kirkwoods of the world, the Pat O'Wards, that can also put up some wins, but not as consistently. And when they don't win, they're not, just checking off P2s and P3s as consistently as Palou. So I'm not drinking the juice on Palou to win this championship. It is very, very a steep glass to drink. However, I do think he probably goes back to back. Give it another year or two. Again, we have some promising influx of talent coming into the sport. I just think they need to get up to speed a little bit here and find their sea legs under them.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch all year long. And glad we're going to get the season started here. Let's talk a little bit about the St. Pete circuit. 1.8 miles, 14 turns on this track, 5 left-handers, 9 right-handers. The circuit incorporates the streets of downtown St. Petersburg and a pretty long section of runway of the local airport, too. After you hit that long front stretch, tight right-hander into turn 1, quick left-hand turn. For the Indy guys, 2 or 3 really good passing opportunities throughout the track. On the truck side, pretty much every corner is a passing opportunity when you can bang fenders.
Yeah, I've had in the past, like, someone asked, like, hey, could you kind of describe this road course to me? And Elliot, it kind of reminds me of, like, if you and I were playing like GTA 5 or GTA 4. I think GTA 4 is the one that had the lit airport that everyone just go rip around. Like, this is kind of what that is, right? It's going to get technical in certain parts of it, but this is also a really fun track because you have stretches where you can absolutely drop it down, right? You can put your foot on that lead and kind of let it rip down some of these front stretches. So it's one of these that it's a high speed one. I'd actually really love to see, like, kind of the speed some of these cup cars could get on this circuit. But either way, I do I do usually see like more tire wear on this street course rather than some of the other ones we're seeing across IndyCar. And I think that's really because of the fact that like you're kind of getting on the gas, right? And you're having to make these really tough braking zones as well, where, I mean, it's always tough in an open wheel car when you're going from high speeds to low speeds at these braking zones. But it feels especially like that in St. Petersburg every single season, where strategy and the use of when you're pulling out what tire compound is going to matter, particularly a lot down the stretch.
Last 4 races here, 4 different winners on the Indy side. Scott McLaughlin, Marcus Ericsson, Pato O'Ward, and Alex Palou last year. I think one of those involved a disqualification from Newgarden. Again, Penske, attenuator, DQs. Let's not talk about it. Those are the 4 drivers who won the last 4 races here. Any big advantage to those 4 guys? I mean, outside of Palou's general gigantic advantage that he's had overall IndyCar the last couple of years?
No, I don't think. This is a really tough race to find an outright for, right? I mean, Palou's actually at a pretty reasonable number. Awards right up there with him. Of course, we'll talk about the street course king Kyle Kirkwood later in the show as well. But it feels like, to me, it's a 3-horse race between one of them. But, you know, we've seen guys like Ericsson get a little loose here and find some speed. And especially, you know as well as I do, the advantages you can find in the garage over the offseason in IndyCar are a lot bigger than what you're going to find in NASCAR, right? So this is one of those. I think you tread lightly in this race. Find a couple matchups you like. We'll give out a couple, maybe a couple long shot top 5s or top 3s, excuse me. But as far as like an outright and like those drivers in specific, outside of Alex Palou and Pato O'Ward here, I don't see a huge advance specifically for Ericsson or McLaughlin and even our guy Josef Newgarden, who was DQ'd, as you mentioned as well.
Yeah, and as fun as these weekends are, it is important to tread lightly when we kind of don't know what's going on, at least especially on the truck side. But we've still got some fun bets for you. Let's go ahead and lay them out now in the parking garage props. So we got a couple truck bets and a couple IndyCar bets to discuss for the weekend. You were the only one brave enough to go with an outright on the truck side, Seth, and it's a name you've talked about many a time already this season.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just going to fire him right back up here. Gio Ruggiero, 9-1 at FanDuel, going 0.7 of a unit. I'm also going to ladder this up with the top 5 as well. 1.5 units on a plus 180 from BetRivers there. So a little bit of a dangerous proposition here. You know me, I'll usually only lay more than a unit or so when I'm super confident or I'm drinking some heavy juice, right? And the thing with Gio here, though, is like I was heavy on him at Daytona. We almost cashed another 20-1 outright on this kid. We got a nice, I think it was a plus 275 top 5 that day. Got off him last week because his Atlanta stats hadn't been as good as some of his other super speedways. I was wrong to do that, man. I should not have, because this guy finished 3rd last season. Right now, Elliot, you look at where Gio is, and I said, like, I wouldn't be surprised if towards the end of the season we're looking up and someone like Gio is the one closest to someone like Lane Riggs in the standings. And right now he's second in points, not behind Lane Riggs, but behind his teammate Chandler Smith here. First in average finish among the series, 2.5. Only driver with 2 top 5s as well. Only him and Chandler Smith have 2 top 10s even. So really great start this season. And I've said it before, Elliot, like when SVG or Zilich or any of these big dogs are coming down to the truck series, like when they're not like at road course, I think Gio's an auto bet here at an outright. The books are catching on a little bit, right? 9-1 isn't a crazy steal. I have seen him down to 8.5. I think I saw a plus 750 at one point as well this week for him. But last year in particular at road courses, man, Gio finished 3rd every single time he went out there. And there were some big guns in that races. You had Connor Zilich in a couple Truck Series races. Brent Cruz out there. You and I both know how we feel about this kid when it gets to road courses. Corey Heim, of course, in those races as well. He's become just a fantastic road course ringer. And Christopher Bell was even in one of those races. So, like, now we're moving all those guys, right? We're moving every single one of those guys. So it's actually weaker competition. And, like, why wouldn't Gio get better at road courses? He seemed to even got better over the offseason, studying, being in on the sim at super speedway. So I think we're going to see the same thing. Like, to me, like, just like logically speaking, Elliot, who do you think is going to have success here at a street course. I think it's gonna be someone like Gio, who's young, he's adaptable, he has quick reflexes. Again, I think he's like, what else are you like? He can't booze right now. He ain't got a ton of distractions. Like he's out there in the offseason ripping the sim, I think, more than anyone else. So I've seen the top 5 number all the way down to plus 150. So gotta love getting those extra 30 cents over at 365 and jumping on it there as well. So yeah, Gio full send until it's not, Elliot.
And yeah, the way the numbers are with Gio, I mean, you definitely have more faith in him than I do. It'll be exciting to see if he's the guy who's able to take that next step. It'll be exciting to see if he's able to take that next step, because you're right, he is one of those guys, got a lot of talent, better road course prowess than I would have thought heading into the week. I just went a little lighter on this race. I don't have any outrights or anything like that.
Okay.
Maybe after practice qualifying, there'll be something I can look into a little more. But it just has major shit show potential. Truck Series never being on a street course before, and you really don't have those guys that can. Not that they play like follow the leader in the Truck Series, but if you have a couple really established guys who really know what they're doing in the truck, it can kind of help the younger guys. But all those guys are in Austin, Texas, Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't really have a lot of that. I agree with you though. The young guys who run well on road courses are going to be the guys to watch for, and the guys who just have general road course prowess, which leads me back to one of the names I talk about all the time in the lower series on road courses. Connor Mosack running the number 7 for Spire this weekend. I got his top 5 at 2-1 on Caesars. And yeah, what can I say, man? I just really love my guys on road courses. I talked about it with Austin Green, every road course in the O'Reilly series. And I talk about it with Mosack, every road course, either in O'Reilly or in truck. Got a little bit, but I think half the truck season in the 7 truck, which just won the race last week with Kyle Busch. I know, different track, different situation, different funding, arguably. No insult to that charity on the truck. Rick Hendrick probably throwing a little more money at the 7 truck. And he had good road course runs consistently over the last couple of years when he gets the opportunity in decent equipment. Last year, full-time in the 81 for McAnally, 2 road courses, ran toward the front all day at Lime Rock, was going to catch that top 5. Late restart inside the last 5 laps. Killed a Lane Riggs matchup bet I had. Killed the Mosack top 5. Still hurts. Clearly, I'm not over it. And his average running position when they had the loop data at Watkins Glen and the Roval, hovering right around the top 10. I think the 7 truck probably a little better than that 81 truck. Having less competition can only help as well. And he's done, like I said, when he's got the opportunities in the O'Reilly series over the last couple of years in a variety of different cars, whether it's Sam Hunt 24, Junior Motorsports, a couple of different rides in the O'Reilly series, P5 last year at the Roval toward the end of the year, P6 in Chicago in 2024, 2023 in 8th place and a 5th place at Portland and the Glen. The guy knows how to move around road courses. I think that advantage of not having your Seabells or your Ziliches race, it opens up a couple of spots at the front of the field. I see Mosack, a guy who knows what he's doing, making lefts and rights, taking advantage.
Yeah, I really like Connor Mosack this week. He was someone I was looking to get invested with because, Elliot, when you actually like peel it back a little bit here and like we talk about drivers who I think actually have win equity this weekend, Mosack's definitely there. I was hoping I could find him maybe for a little bit of a long shot outright here. He's coming in somewhere between like 11 and 13. It's just not long enough for me on someone like that who hasn't done it yet. But top 5 here at 2-1, I'm fine with. Would love to see if there's some other matchups with him as well. Like I saw him kind of against some other guys I didn't want to bet him against, like Gio, some Ty Majeski action as well. But any way you can get invested with Connor Mosack, like this realistically could be his first win. Like I just want to say that because unlike some of these other truckers this weekend, he has that start in Chicago, right? Different type of vehicles that they was ripping around those streets out in Grant Park there, but still same concept. And so I think that gives him a little bit of a leg up. This is the perfect opportunity for Connor Mosack, specifically in a really good Spire truck that, hey, helped us catch a top 3 last week on old Rowdy Busch. And I said it when I made that bet, I should have bet the outright as well. And it was definitely kicking myself there on Saturday afternoon as Kyle Busch does it yet again here at Atlanta just a little over 7 days ago.
Yeah, it was a good weekend for Spire on the truck side. As I talked about in the main show, I wouldn't have bet a Carson Hocevar outright if I knew he wasn't going to be able or willing to even try to win the race. But we already rehashed that on the show Thursday night. One more matchup you have in the truck series, one of the guys you just mentioned. You've been on Gio a lot this year. You've been on Ty Majeski a lot this year too in that Menards 88.
Yeah, I will. I will absolutely go back to the well here. And not someone I honestly traditionally bet. I just feel like we've been catching good matchups, good lines against him. we're on him here, -115 at the score bet against Christian Eckes. So I'm 1.2 units down on this one. Majeski, average finish of 5.7 on road courses a season ago. Never finished worse than 8th as well. So super consistent road course guy. Not usually someone we think of when we're making lefts and right, but really, really good at it. And Christian Eckes had just 3 Truck Series road courses starts in this equipment from 2023 to present day as well. Average finish of 13.7 in that span, going 1 and 2 against Majeski as well. So that's just a pretty big difference, right? Like Majeski has consistently been out here, a top 5, top 6 car and truck at road courses, and Eckes is not even really a top 10 guy, right? And I think, to me, like, yes, he does have that one start. I think it was a Road America potentially a couple years ago where Eckes had a good one. I think he was P3 in that, but like besides that, he really hasn't had a lot of success in the trucks. And I also think, like, Elliot, just the fact that, like, he's been gone out of a truck for a while, and the fact that he's coming back now, not being on a road course in quite some time, I think is going to hurt him, specifically off the truck as well. I'm expecting Majeski to qualify somewhere in that top 6, top 7, top 8 range. I think Eckes is more going to have to move through the field a little bit. And I've seen this as far down as -140. So to get it at a pick'em here at the score feels really nice here on my boy Ty Majeski. We need a nickname for Ty Majeski. Any ideas from you? I'm trying to find one. But Majeski, it doesn't have any good rhymes or alliterations off it.
No, I'm not a very good nickname guy, but we definitely got to come up with something. Definitely a respectable performance in that flagship Thor Sport truck. Christian Eckes, tough break last week at Atlanta. Breaks the car has a mechanical issue within right away, basically takes him out, and just continue to stretch of bad luck. Even that he had a lot with Colleague last year on the O'Reilly side, and yeah, I mean, this is kind of playing advantage to the numbers here. It's almost the same kind of way we were looking at the last 2 super speedway races. It's part play the trends and it's part play the numbers. I even talked about some of that in some of my other Coda bets on the NASCAR side. You play the numbers, even when you have all the research in the world, you can still find some advantages to play the numbers there. Majeski, again, a guy I've got the under bet on his season long, but it's one of those where, kind of like Gio, I don't know if I'm super confident on it, but it was enough to play the numbers and bet it.
Money Man Majeski, that's the name. That's what we're going with. Money Man Majeski. You do the Johnny Manziel when you say it too. Just bring a little more luck, a little more cash our way, baby.
Hey, no arguments here for sure. All right, on the IndyCar side, you have a long shot podium, but we want to break down the matchup first. We both have separate matchups going with Kyle Kirkwood, who we were talking about earlier in the show.
Yeah, so for me, if you're going to be betting IndyCar this weekend, you have to look at the king of the streets right now. And not only is he the king of the streets, but also returning to his home state of Florida. 2 wins last year on street courses, 3 top 5s, 3.25 average finish for Kyle Kirkwood. Really just a blossoming year in his career. And on the other side, like, you're fading against Newgarden, which I'm totally cool at that number. That was almost my bet of the week, but I decided to go Scott McLaughlin instead, specifically because, like, Scotty, coming off one of his worst seasons since 2022, since he's been full-time here for the captain, right? No wins, podium finishes cut nearly in half from the previous year. Average finish exploded all the way to 13.2. That's worse than his rookie year back in 2021. I just have no faith in a guy who had a 12.0 average finish with only 1 top 5 last year on the streets, which came here at St. Pete. So he did beat Kyle Kirkwood a year ago. I'm just not concerned about it at this point, though, because, like, he's just been so highly inconsistent to start the season. 13.7 average finish at St. Pete, always while running in some of that best equipment, right? Kirkwood, meanwhile, 12.0 average finish of hit in his career at St. Pete. And only 1 race did come in AJ Foyt equipment before he got up here to better stuff. So again, he's been better in AJ Foyt equipment and now Andretti equipment. And there are 2 teams here, these are 2 drivers, I believe, Elliot, just kind of really trending in different directions, right? Really just trending in different directions. And in general, I want to be on the one that is ascending, specifically here at a pick'em price tag.
Yeah, I completely agree on Kirkwood. Do I think he's got the stones to go up there, really challenge Palou for a title? Maybe not. Over a full season, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But we did see Kirkwood really have a breakout year last year. Second most wins in the series. Pair of road course victories. So he's no oval merchant or anything like that. And generally, like you said, street course god seems to be better on the road courses and street courses than Newgarden. He is a previous winner here. He's had success here in the past. Newgarden seems like more of an oval guy to me. And same with McLaughlin. Rough year last year. Slowing down the last couple of years for Newgarden. Not able to put out the same output that he had in years past. And maybe it's a Penske thing overall, and maybe they had their down year and they're going to be up this year. The minus 115 pick'em is a little tougher for me at a plus money number over Newgarden, the way Kirkwood has been. I like that bet a little bit better, which is why I picked it. It's on Bet365. You got the McLaughlin on the score. And yeah, Kirkwood, a guy who it's going to be exciting to watch him and see if he can take that next step and keep on winning races.
Yeah, I was thinking about this Newgarden one. And I actually looked back at my card a year ago, and I had Newgarden on a top 3 in this race. And he came up and hit it late, had a lot of late run speed. Again, I think Penske was kind of coming out with something to prove, though, because of the DQs the prior year, right? So I'm a little more hesitant because, like, this is Newgarden absolute dog crap on most of the street courses, but for every reason, he does have something for St. Pete. Again, I think it's those long straightaways at this street course that Penske gets a little more power. Maybe some other stuff going on there too, but we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But just in general, like, I feel like the McLaughlin one is safer, but the Newgarden at a 25% or 25-cent increase, I don't hate that at all. Especially, dude, you gotta love that plus money on it.
Yeah, gotta love some plus money. The juice can taste good, but I'll take the plus money, as you are hoping to get on this long shot podium finish to close out the show.
Yeah, small sprinkles here, 0.1 of a unit. But give me Kyfinn Simpson here on a podium finish, 25-1 at Caesars. This is a 21-year-old kid, Chip Ganassi Racing, entering his third full-time IndyCar season here. Last year on the streets in particular, finished 18th, 10th, 5th, and then 3rd, earning his first career podium at the last street course of the season. An average finish of P9 at all these street courses. So I know that P18 was at St. Pete, and that's kind of the thing you have to stomach here. But with how much this guy improved every single race on the streets, I just think he might be able to pick up, right where he left off, right? And I think we might be in business here for a long shot ticket to hold. I would love if there was a top 5 market that comes out, and maybe I'll keep an eye out and maybe do a little ladder action here to get a top 5 if that eventually comes out. Again, books don't, they don't love giving us NASCAR odds sometimes. They're even worse with IndyCar in particular as well. So I would love a top 5. I would love a top 10 if I could find him in a matchup. But Simpson, honestly, dude, he's just one of those guys you got to start watching for on street courses. We could get a few years removed here where we're talking, Kyfinn street course king Simpson, right? I mean, that could be in the card. So just a guy I'm kind of keeping an eye on here. A little bit of a sweat, a little bit of just a fun sprinkle to have here on a young upcoming street racer. Yeah,
man, Simpson, the Cayman Islands finest. Beautiful little spot down there. I went there a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
And clearly produces some good racers too, this kid. Like you said, one of the up-and-coming stars of IndyCar, and a guy who I'm excited to see what he can do as well. 25-1 on a podium for a guy who, the most recent street course race was on the podium. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, I just think it's just too low. It's just too high of odds, in my opinion. I think when you see that, is it going to hit? Probably not. That's why it's 25-1. That's why it's a sprinkle. But at the same time, this is where I think there is value if you're looking, to cash a longer ticket in this race.
Hey, play the numbers, man. Whether it's Moneyman Majeski or the old Kamanian Simpson here, going to be a fun weekend at St. Petersburg for sure. Thanks for watching along. Always lots of fun stuff going on here at In Between Media, Seth.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just been ripping. We talked about the IUT Racing family, the entire community over there in the IBT Discord, just growing like a weed every single day. Really appreciate everyone checking us out there. Appreciate you checking us out here on the new channel as well. Trying to grow the Backroad, youtube.com/@the_Backroad. Please check that out as well, because we want you to see this bonus content, right? And it will be collabed with the main content, but sometimes it doesn't always get in the feed because, YouTube and technical issues. So, but yeah, if you can just check that out. Audio version still ripping strong as well. I've seen a couple of reviews pop up over there. So, Elliot, maybe we'll have to do a little micro giveaway for that here in the coming weeks as well. But really just appreciate everyone. Easiest way to support us. give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you're new as well. And Elliot, good luck to you. I know you got a full card between St. Pete and over there at the Circuit of the Americas as well. So appreciate everything you do as well here, my friend, and best of luck.
Hey, appreciate you as well. Card is moving on up for sure. Daytona was rough. Atlanta was better. Hopefully everything at COTA and St. Pete goes well too. This is your home all year on the Backroad YouTube channel for the bonus content, rotating between the O'Reilly stuff, Truck Series stuff, some bonus Cup stuff probably at some point, as well as your open wheel IndyCar starting up this weekend and Formula One as well, not too far on the horizon. Always lots of fun over here. That's the word of the night, like I said. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a fun time. We'll see you next time.